What are the spiritual and relationship lessons that we can learn from the movie Midnight in Paris? So, we're going to talk about this movie and we're going to talk about the spiritual and relationship lessons that we can learn from this movie. It's about how to choose our life partner, the lessons that we can learn from this movie related to choosing a life partner, related to choosing your soul tribe, your friends, your surrounding, and how to be assertive in relationship. Especially if you're on the path of spirituality. If you're interested with it, let's get into this video. Some time ago, I watched this movie called Midnight in Paris. This movie was released in the year 2011. Pretty interesting movie, okay? So this movie is about this guy, this male lead, this hero, went to Paris for a vacation with his fiancée. And in Paris, they met her parents, her friends, and her ex-colleagues. Okay, so this male lead, this hero, he was a very handsome, kind, passionate, creative, wonderful man, a generous man. Okay, he was working as a screenwriter, movie screenwriter for Hollywood. However, he was more passionate to be a novelist. He has written a novel, but it's yet to be published. Okay, now when it comes to his fiancée was totally opposite to him. She didn't like the idea of him wanting to be a novelist. She wants him to continuously be the screenwriter. She and her parents were very materialistic, too materialistic for him. Okay? The fiancée, never really respected the male lead, never really respected him. She was constantly looking down upon him. Every time he tries to give an opinion related to a subject, immediately she will ask him to keep quiet. She will try to silence him. She will put him down, bring him down. She respects other men's opinion over her fiancé's opinion or intelligence. He's a very intelligent man. However, the fiancé was constantly belittling him, minimizing him, bringing him down, gaslighting him most of the time. Basically, she was insulting him indirectly in the name of care and love. And when it comes to her parents, they were exactly like her. They didn't like him. They were constantly trying to bring him down. They were talking at the back of him negatively, gossiping about him negatively at the back of him. This poor guy, he felt so lonely despite being surrounded by his fiancée, her parents, and her friends. Her friends group were exactly like her. And she was more attracted to another man compared to her fiancé. And she was constantly glorifying the other man. And every time her fiancé tried to give an opinion related to a subject, this fiancé will shut him off and ask him to just listen to the other man. When this guy, this male lead is actually more intelligent than the other man. And when it comes to their passion and interest, they were totally opposite. Paris was so beautiful in that movie. And this male lead, this hero, he wanted to go for a long walk, the beautiful streets in Paris. And he invited his fiancée to accompany him. His fiancée didn't like it at all. Just like, who's going to walk? I hate to walk. And then he invited her on another day again. It was raining. He wanted to walk under the rain with umbrella. He invited the fiancée again and she felt disgusted about him. She tried to change everything about him. She wanted to change every single thing about him. If you just want to change one or two things, that's fine. So this poor guy, every night, the fiancée and her friends and her family, they decided to spend time in some parties. Meanwhile, he decided to spend time alone. by taking a long walk alone in Paris. So every night he was going for this long walk alone. And during this walk, he always fantasizes. He gets into this fantasy or a time travel, so-called time travel, where he fantasizes of meeting his role models from the past, from different era from the past, like Picasso and some other artists from the past. He constantly fantasizing meeting like-minded people and spending time with them. He suddenly fantasized himself meeting all these like-minded people, his role models from the past, the great artist, great painter, great author, great novelist from the past, and spending time with them and having conversation with them. And in his fantasy, he was enjoying it, just having fun. He even fantasized of meeting his dream woman in his fantasy, a woman who truly understands him, a woman who admires his work, a woman who was so interested to read his novel and who really appreciates him. Constantly, every night. At one point, he realized that he couldn't fit with his fiancée and her family and her friends group. He came to a huge realization, a huge epiphany, that woman is not the right woman for him. Those people are not his people. They are not his soul tribe. He tried his best to fit in with that group, with the fiancée, her friends and family, but he couldn't. He came to a realization that he deserves the best. He deserves better. And she deserves someone who's like-minded with her. I mean, who has similar interests with her. Am I right? She deserves someone who's like her, who understands her. Similarly, this male deserves someone better, someone who understands him. Eventually, he gathered this courage to break up with her. He broke up with her. He just broke up with her. He became assertive, he stood up for himself, and he broke up with her. And then he was going for a walk again under the rain, and he met this one wonderful girl who also loved to take a long walk in Paris and who loves rain. Now, don't take it literally. That's a metaphor to show that he found his perfect match. Spiritual warriors, what are the lessons that we can learn from this movie? You have to understand one thing. When you are with the right person, when you are with the right group of people, like-minded people, your soul tribe, you are never too much for them. You are not too much for them. Okay? When you're with the wrong life partner, when you're with the wrong people, wrong soul tribe, wrong friends, wrong community, you're always too much or less competent for them. It's either you're too much for them or you are less competent or unworthy for them. When you're with the wrong person, wrong people, they'll always make you feel not enough. They'll always make you feel unworthy. You're always too much for them. They will constantly discourage you, put you down, bring you down, belittle you, try to make you play small, and will always complain about you and want to change every little thing about you. And when you're with the right person and right people and friends and soul tribe, you're always enough for them. You are always enough for the right person or the right people, even if they want to change you, just one or two things. You are not too much for the right people or the right life partner. You are always just the perfect fit for the right people, right life partner. They're not going to constantly complain about you or try to change you. They're going to love you. They're going to appreciate every little things about you. They're going to admire every little things about you. They're going to feel fortunate for having you in their life. You're always going to be enough for them. You are not too weird or too much for the right person or the right people. Spiritual warriors, you have to understand something. Regardless how weird you are, how crazy you are, how unusual you are, you will always have the perfect match for you. Perfect for you. They don't have to be a perfect person, but for you, they're a perfect match. There might be one or two things, which you might not be satisfied, but it might not be a major thing. You are not and you will not be too weird or too much for the right life partner or for the right people, for the right soul tribe. You don't have to wear a mask all the time when you're with the right people, when you're with the right life partner. When you're with the right life partner, when you're with the right friends, right group, you don't have to constantly wear a mask. You don't have to constantly pretend. You don't have to constantly walk on eggshells. You don't have to constantly try to please them. The right person and the right people will always make you feel free. You will feel free when you're with the right person, the right people. Please understand that. Never settle for less. If you feel that someone or a group of people constantly complaining about you, constantly trying to change every little thing about you, trying to mold you per their expectation all the time. I'm not talking about this one or two expectation, which comes once in a blue moon. Or somebody who's constantly minimizing your feelings. Know that they are not the right person for you. They are not the right group for you. They are not the right community for you. Regardless how weird or unusual you are, you'll always have a perfect match for you. You just have to heal your past trauma, do your inner work, break your karmic pattern, and match your frequency with those like-minded people. Let me know what you think about this. Thank you.